Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Arena Open Day 1 run here for Duskmourn. If we can get to 4 wins before any losses in these best of 3 matches, we will make it to Day 2 where we can draft for real cash. So high stakes, it's going to be a lot of fun. If you enjoy these sort of videos, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe for more, and comment with your questions, thoughts, and feedback. What are we working with here? Well, we've got black, red, rare, red rare, red white rare. What's this one do again? Oh. Huh. So this isn't particularly playable in draft. But some interesting stuff to consider. We could even splash this if we wanted, maybe in a black red deck. But we'll see what we're working with here. I think the first thing we'll want to look to is, first of all, I just like to do a quick check on colors. So white has Sheltered by Ghosts, Splitskin Doll has some pretty good cards. Other than that, pretty poor. And we know we have the Jolly Balloon Man, but I can't imagine playing white. Blue, similarly empty. The best card I see here is maybe Meat Locker or Twist Reality. Blue just looks horrific here, which is good. In sealed, you would much rather have a couple of really bad colors because it means all the other colors have your good stuff. So like a couple of Fear of Lost Teeth, a Final Vengeance. Black is already looking a little bit reasonable. We got Cynical Loner, which isn't great. This card's fine to sacrifice to stuff. If we're playing black-red, Murder's fine, but black not looking good either. So maybe we just have a juiced red-green deck and we just ignore the red, black, gold cards we have. We have a couple of Percussionists. Trial of Agony's medium. Betrayer's Bargain's great. Hand That Feeds is pretty solid, but not crazy. This card's awesome. Glassworks is good. Green, we have a couple Manifest Dread, the Emergence, Exposure, Break Down the Door solid. Altenac, a couple Moldering Gems. Man, our black-red looks pretty juiced. Huh. I don't think we have enough to play red-white, but we could definitely play black-red and splash white for Balloon Man. Yeah, things are getting interesting here. So we'll start by adding the Machete, because there's no world I'm not playing that. And then add to Plains. Okay. Let's just see what our black-red deck looks like, because that could be like a nice little aggro deck maybe. And we'll just go from there in terms of what we want to do with it. Because we could maybe want to splash white for a Jolly Balloon Man, because this card's great. It provides sack fodder, all that good stuff. Yeah, but our red cards are looking pretty good for an aggressive shell, maybe. And then we just support it with the few black cards that we have that we like. So this is kind of like the red-black cards I'm happy to play. We could play like Attack in the Box. What's our curve looking like? Maybe could use a 2-drop. Trial of Agony. Helps us push damage maybe. Grab the prize. Help with Flood. I mean, this is a pretty reasonable aggro deck, I think. Not in the market for a beastie. And then I don't need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2-drops. I guess I could play a 7th. Or I could play a Bear Trap. But I feel like I have fine removal. But Bear Trap plus Trial of Agony is a bit of a combo, so maybe play 2 of each, because then for 4 mana you can kind of kill their 2 biggest thing, the 2 things you care about. Like you choose this in response to, after you've chosen targets, you kill one of them, and then they have to deal 5 to the other, which is a pretty nice combo. My creature count here is 12, which is not high enough, but this is a creature, so that's 13. Do we have any other cards like that? No, we do not. Interesting. Where is the problem here? I guess I just have, this is not creatures. We have a lot of removal. So I don't think we're going to have to go off the deep end with the Bear Trap combo. We'd rather just play a couple of extra juicers. Could also try to splash using this. Slash give me a mana sink. Hmm. Could also play this thing. Could play some of these top end guys. Menace is no joke on these. You're aggressive enough. So we have lots of stuff to sacrifice, like these two, these two. What do we have that sacrifices things? Not a lot, honestly. I don't even know if we really want to be this sort of all-in aggro plan here, considering we don't have the sacrifice tools. We guess we have Final Vengeance that we can sacrifice stuff. Huh. The Balloon Man fits really nicely with all these little one guys. I guess Saw sacrifices things, but Saw is just bad. Green, we have some tools here, maybe, to make something happen, but green's not looking crazy good. We might just want to play these bigger guys instead of like these two. Those guys just add a little bit of beef. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Maybe try something like this. Maybe I would rather have the Teddy than that. I just think Teddy's bad. I don't want to play any bad cards is the thing. So I've played 1 planes. I have 2 white sources. I'll just play 1 of these maybe. You can't really be an aggressive deck without enough creatures is the problem. Do I have any other builds? I guess I could go for the green one. And then splash stuff. I mean, the only reason I'm playing black is really for these two. Not that that card's not great. My white cards don't look special. My blue cards certainly don't look special. What if I just tried my green? My green cards. And then I did that. I mean, that's probably better. And then I splashed black for this guy, maybe. I don't need Trial of Agony anymore in this build. Ba-dum. Like my green cards aren't anything special either. I guess my black cards, just the fact that I get a few pretty good ones, should push that over the top for me. Yeah, we'll run it like this. Okay. I'll see you folks in the games. Before I get to the games, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the patrons who support my channel
at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Because of Patreon support from viewers like you, I'm able to make more high-quality videos on a consistent basis, which is great. As a patron, you gain access to cool rewards, like my card-by-card tier list for each set, where I grade each card on an A through F scale, as well as my format thoughts document, where I go into more detailed analysis on cards, my big picture thoughts on the format, and how I'm approaching things so you can find more success in your own drafts. I want to give a special shout out to those patrons who support at the credits level. It really does make a big difference. And without further ado, let's get to the games.
Welcome to round one. We are going to keep this, but it's not great. The Bedhead Beastie's actually coming in a little bit clutch here, giving us both our colors. I think Fear of the Dark might be sleeper solid here. They're mulliganing. Trial of Agony can maybe kill something. I think Trial of Agony plus Menace creatures is a bit of a combo, which is one of the other reasons I wanted to play the Beastie. Okay, they're on a mold of 5, so that's a great draw. Play the Percussionist. I've got some new things I wrote down to work on. One of them, I simply wrote, fight for every point of damage. I just always want to keep myself well practiced and things of that nature. And this is a classic example of fighting for every point of damage. Like, I don't think they can ever block there, because they just need this guy to stick around. So I'm going to probably have to kill it with Glassworks this next turn. I'm definitely the beatdown role here. I will cycle this just to ensure I can curve out with my Fear of the Dark. We're not going to let them do anything too crazy with this Analyst. I'm not going to play scared. If they had a Manifest, they would have done it in response. So we've gotten them at 17 instead of 18. Pretty good. Sure. That card is great. I will... sacrifice the creature that's not going to be able to attack in anymore. Play this guy. Pass. I had until next turn to play it, but I might as well play this since I'm not making advantage of the haste anyway. I'm just going to play a couple Fear of the Darks, I think. They can counter it or kill it. They don't have any glimmers. And Menace and Death Touch is pretty good as an attacker. No blocks. Mill a enchantment. That gives me artifact creature enchantment. If this thing dies, it'll be land still. And they concede. There's not a green combat trick that gives +4/+4. They have +2/+2 for 3 mana. Okay, against this deck, maybe I'd want Pyroclasm if they have a lot of Manifest, but I didn't see a lot of Manifest. The 1/1 doesn't seem like it does a ton. I need to be able to kill that one guy, so I'm going to bring in an extra Bear Trap as a kill spell and take out Trial of Agony, one of them. Because I need to be able to kill the Analyst, so adding an extra answer that lines up well with it makes sense. At least to me. Okay. Okay, I'm going to mulligan this hand. I can't use lands after land 5 anyway, and those are my 2 weakest cards. We'll keep this. Put back. I don't really need to sacrifice to this right now, so I'm going to get rid of the Final Vengeance. I guess I could sacrifice the Sporogenic Infection to it. It's often nice to keep something somewhat proactive. And I can't use the infection if I don't have a creature because I need to be able to put this onto my own hand that feeds. Obviously, I'd rather have the Final Vengeance available, but I want to be able to curve into the Overlord as well. Okay, Patchwork Beastie. Sure. I could have also ditched a land, I guess. Now I don't have to worry about putting this on my hand that feeds. Sure, we'll play hand that feeds. Trade-offs are good for us. They milled a swamp, so that's good to know that they're splashing. They're getting closer to their delirium. They don't have a creature yet, so easy block. If they have +2/+2, we'll be able to deal with it with our Sporogenic Infection. Kill the beastie. I think that trade made sense. They didn't play anything post combat, which I expected them to. So what do they have in their hand? That's another thing I'm working on, is thinking, what do they have in their hand? So they don't have a creature that costs 3 or less. They don't have a counter spell. They have that. Okay. This is going to line up pretty well for me. You got to take the wins that are easy mode sometimes, and this one is kind of going pretty well for me so far. I do wish I had the removal spell, the extra one. Okay, that's a good one for them to have. It also makes Fear of the Dark a lot worse. But I will still play it. And Infection can kill their other creature if they do play a big one. So what do they have in their hand? They could have a bunch of lands. They could still have like 1 or 2 lands. They could still have interactive spells. Okay, well. Kill their big guy. Manifest. Attack. They can chump if they want. And I'm out of cards, but my Overlord is going to come active next turn, and I can always just activate this if I want to. Okay, they're getting back their guy. Interesting, sure. I do have a discard effect in this deck, so I will hold the land for now. So I can't... They will control a Glimmer creature, so this won't work. Even if I kill the Glimmer creature in response. I have a nice double block lined up here. This not having Menace is annoying. Do I want to flip this? It'll be a 3/2, which means I can't then double block. Okay, that's a good draw. So then I can't really block that. Okay. They can get a big hit in here, but this thing is going to threaten to kill them, especially because this can deal damage to any target, so I can just zap them. Okay, slasher, sure. Hand that feeds, okay. So I deal 4 to them. They can go block here. They have to double block this guy. I think this is the correct play. I could have also killed the slasher, so they don't have a good double block on this guy, but they could still double block with their big guy. Oh, and they get a 2/2. Wait, oh no, because they haven't unlocked that part. And so now they have to top deck something to deal with my hand that feeds, because that will kill them. Well, that's something. So now they have a blocker. So they are dead, because hand that feeds is menace. Nice, huge win. We'll get him with the monkey. Whew. Every point of damage matters. Fight for every inch. Nice, got the win. Huge. Do we want to make any changes after seeing how our deck played out? I will say the 5/5 Menace Death Touch was pretty good on the offensive. And Trial of Agony wouldn't have been great there, but I mean, it would have been okay, but okay. Yeah, I think we'll keep it like this as a main deck configuration, and I'll see you folks next round. Welcome to another round. We will keep this on the draw. Having your best card in your hand is a good reason to keep, and also not having your best card in your hand is one of the like tiebreakers you can use as a mulligan. Opponent mulligan, we drew our best possible card probably there, which was Swamp. Fight for every point of damage. I'm just gonna keep saying that. It should be noted. I make it sometimes. I like go through and just brainstorm. Okay, what are things that I could do better? But a lot of the time, these are things that a lot of players could do better. So, if you sometimes find yourself being a little lackluster, like you saw that like bluff attack we made against the paranormal analyst, like these are things you can try to be a little bit maybe better about sometimes. Okay, Flood Pit's Drowner. We can kill that for 1 mana. We have the kind of combo setup where we can kill 2 big things for 3 mana. Okay. We're just going to use our Overlord of the Boiler Bilges here. Fear of Surveillance. Sure. Don't need to do anything too crazy. They're running low on resources. Remember, they mulliganed. They have been holding up some counter magic. I didn't really want to use the Boiler Beastie there. Now that I've drawn the Fear of the Dark, I'm kind of regretting it. But even then, it's fine. I suspect they're holding up something. Or they're just choked on white mana and they have nothing to do in their hand. In that case, I'm just going to cast this with Impending. Kill this. It's always good to think through all the possibilities. Like, sure, they could be holding up a double blue counterspell there, but they've also, the way this game is played out, they played this on turn 2, they played this on turn 3, and they only have 1 white mana. So it's not like they were clearly holding this. Like, if they had an extra white mana here, it'd be like, oh, they could have played this, but instead they chose to, like, they've spent their mana every turn. I'm still thinking about whether I should have cycled the Bedhead Beastie. Like, if I had drawn a land last turn instead of Fear of the Dark, which is infinitely more likely, I'd rather have the Bedhead Beastie in hand. If I draw a land this turn, it's still going to be better to have the Bedhead Beastie in hand. Okay, they don't want to draw any more islands, it looks like. This is kind of like implicit domination here. Okay, well, that's going to die. But it doesn't need to die immediately. So if they play another big creature, I get to show off this combo. Which I hope I get to do. Perfect. I get to show it off. This is exactly what... Yeah, this is great. Blocks, sure. So put on full control. Trial of Agony. 2 target creatures. Submit 2. Autopay. Oh. So that's how that works. I could have also just chosen the 2 creatures and then killed the other one. But the reason you do it that way is, so in this case, it doesn't matter. I'm now thinking about, but if you had a spell like that only did 3, like a Scorching Dragonfire, so like if they had a 4/4 and a 3/3 flyer or something that I wanted to kill, then I could have done it. I could use that tactic. That's more of a flex to show you how to do it on Arena, because I think you have to hold full control and all that stuff. I'm at 9, so that is relevant. But I have a way better board state. I have good cards in hand. I'm feeling pretty smart for not cycling this because I did draw the land. I have the sniffles. Ooh, okay. Okay. And this thing's going to be a creature next turn. Definitely holding this guy back for a while. Because I do not want to give them a free card. And 1 damage is not relevant. I will fight for every point of damage, but when your guy just dominates it, like, these are both creatures in play. But if mine trades off, I get a card out of it. So, like, I have it dominated is a phrase I like to use sometimes. And they concede. From 21 life, they concede because Bilges just kills them so fast. Okay. So they have some tempo elements. They've got some tapping. They've got a lot of enchantment. So if I had any enchantment removal, I would bring it in. They also have a lot of 4/4s. So this is the sort of matchup where you have to think, okay, is Trial of Agony going to be better, or is my Bear Trap going to be better? And Bear Trap's not going to do anything in this matchup when the stuff I want to kill is 4/4s. Bringing a 6-mana 4/4 flyer also seems bad. This seems bad. Pyroclasm. They have a couple things that die to Pyroclasm, but not enough that I want it. Death Touch seems like it could be relevant. Though they also have a Cult Healer that just trades with this. What cards do I have? The 4/1's great against those. 4/2 lines up well. 2/5 can block them pretty well. Do I have a lot of enchantments? 6 enchantments. But it's also bad against the bounce spell. But still, 2/5 could be pretty good here. I'm going to bring in 1/2/5. If I have something bad to take out. A 3/1 seems pretty horrific. It's not going to be able to attack very well, but it is a 2-drop versus a 4-drop. Yeah, I'm just going to keep in my good cards. There's no need to go too crazy with sideboarding. But you always want to think about how the stuff lines up, and knowing they have a bunch of 4/4s is interesting. Gonna want to save my removal spell for the big creatures. Great hand here. Glassworks can be sacrificed to Final Vengeance. That's a perfect draw. This thing can start doing some work. So, like, they're technically on the play. So do I think that this will benefit me to trade damage here, or do I just want to sit back a little bit? I'm going to sit back a little bit. This thing trading off is still good. I can recast it later. They're stuck on mana color. Okay, they use Jump Scare. That's a good trade for me. When you're on the draw, sometimes you just want to survive a little bit. Okay. I will use my Glassworks to kill that, I think. Because then next turn I can use my mana, effectively cycle this, and play a 2-drop. And this Acrobatic Cheerleader is going to do a lot of damage to me. And if they're stumbling, I don't want them to be able to make any progress. So that way they can't, like, pressure me. Okay, so they aren't going to be stumbling. But I have enough removal spell for their big guys right now. Okay, that's actually a really good draw. But for now, I am just going to cycle this and start deploying my threats. So I will play the Cynical Loner first, because if it gets a hit in, that will help my hand that feeds Connect as a menace creature. And also, this is already 1 toughness, so putting a Sporogenic Infection on it is okay. And if this does trade off, then I can play this thing. Okay. So first things first. I think we just attack first. So we could put a land in the graveyard. We could put our Delirium guy in the graveyard. We don't really want lands. We're already halfway to Delirium. I think that's okay. Then I can play this. I want to play this when I can sacrifice the Sporogenic Infection to it. Maybe I just play Shattered Yard. Because this is going to hit them for 2 a turn, and this is going to hit them for 1 a turn. But this is going to be more effective use of my mana, so I can deploy this next turn, and I'll miss out on 1 point of damage. Remember, fight for every point of damage. But over the course of the game, this thing might not be able to attack for a turn or 2. We'll have to see. Because ideally, I'll be able to go this. Oh, this is going to be perfect for me. Oh, they're so toast. So I go this. I also could save the Sporogenic Infection and go Final Vengeance into playing Hand That Feeds into playing this guy. Yeah, I think I want to do that. I think I'd rather keep this in play. So I've done 2 damage with this by activating it, and this thing would have done them 2 damage this turn. So it's about actually roughly equal. I got to deploy more things. It looks like they're going to concede here. Nice. They didn't have a very good draw, it felt like. We kind of dismantled them. Feels good. Let's see if there's any changes we want to make to the deck. Any changes? Any changes? I mean, this deck felt pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good about how we built it, too. The question is, do we want to play any of these, like, Year of Lost Heath? I don't think so. We already kind of have a few, like, low-impact, quote-unquote, creatures that we don't really want to load up too many on them. And I think this is going to be good, so I'll see you folks next round. Welcome to another round. Let's try and get this one done. On the play, it's bad, but I have a lot of draws that kind of make it okay. I'm actually going to mulligan this. It's like a 5-lander. This hand is better because we have Overlord of the Bilges, Boiler Bilges, so definitely a keep here. And I'm going to get rid of Trial of Agony, because I think that's my worst card. So that's one of those things. If you mulligan, but you have a really good card to hit, this card can, like, maybe almost not win us the game solo, but it can do a lot of good work. And now we're going to be able to curve into it. If I draw a Swamp this turn, that would be perfect. They're playing black-white. They don't have a 2-drop, so that's good for us. So when you're on the play, you often want to be more proactive, but here we're not going to be able to do that because of our mulligan and our clunky draw. Centipede, sure. But we're getting a 2-for-1 to get back in it. They've got a 2-for-1 here. Mulliganing is always tough. I mean, you just have a weaker hand, but... Take out the Centipede. I think that's the correct call. I could have taken out the Scavenger. Presumably the Scavenger is going to do some work. So maybe I was supposed to kill the Scavenger. Okay, so they're playing every color, it looks like. That was a huge, huge draw. Get some momentum, hopefully. A couple blockers. I can block the Scavenger now. They have so much value here. This is going to be a hard one to win. Their deck looks really good. I can hope that in games 2 and 3 they stumble a bit. I can run them over. I should have killed the Scavenger. That was a huge error. It's another one of the things I've been working on is taking stock of what the opponent probably has in their hand. And here, they've got all their colors. Presumably, they have white, black, green, blue. Though this might just be is default to playing. So yeah, they're playing 4. They've got 4 colors. They've got access to a bunch of spells. Yeah, so... So I'm definitely just going to use this. Target this. Yeah, but if I killed the Scavenger, they would have a 2-1 here. Yeah. Okay. Well, now I have Delirium. Not that it's going to do me a whole lot of good against Altenac. I think I just try to top deck a removal spell to this. I've already lost one, but I still have a murder in the deck. Okay. And I also have 5/5s. If I draw a 5/5, I can get a nice double block off. So they can play an enchantment, get +3/+3 almost. They have dragged it to the roots. I'm a little bit surprised the way they've played this. If they'd done this pre-combat, I couldn't have blocked very well. And they could have killed me. Okay, well, that was bad. But now we know more about their deck. Hopefully we can make some sideboarding adjustments. It looks like they kind of have the late game on lock compared to us. They've got 2 threats around every corner, so we want to kill them while their mana is destabilized. Also, they're splashing white just for this card. It was definitely better to kill that. Cackling Slasher is usually bad, but if they have Altenac, it actually lines up a little bit better. So actually, I'm going to make that adjustment. I think it's bad normally, but we're going to sideboard like that, I think. Pyroclasm could be okay, but it also kills a lot of my own guys. We're going to try it like that. We're going to make some adjustments. We bring in... I mean, Cackling Slasher is an objectively bad card. We're hoping like we don't draw it, but... See, these are the hands. We just got to mulligan this. It's really unfortunate to come to this situation. We're going to keep this, though. Ditch a Fear of the Dark. And we're going to continue fighting for every point of damage here. Most of my draws reward me for this, because I get it in the 1 extra point of damage here. So they didn't play anything. But I drew a land, so that's good. Marching up towards Fear of the Dark, which could maybe get a lot of damage in. That's what I'm hoping. I don't like that they're probably just going to play a Centipede here, and I'm in trouble. Meat Locker. Well, that's interesting. Yep. Land? Not a land, but not the end of the world. It's at least something that can add a little bit of pressure. And we're feeling the pressure. We're feeling like we're in bad shape now. Oh, gosh. We've only been able to get them down to 15. They've got all their colors set up. They've got a great hand of cards. We might not even be able to play Fear of the Dark next turn. This is tough. That's how it happens, though. Sometimes you mulligan and get some rough draws. I mean, we've had some good draws, too, though. We've got a lot of removal. So if they spend a couple turns just playing big creatures, we could tempo them out. They have 5 mana in play. Yep, that's a card we're going to have to deal with. And they get another land into play. Oh my gosh, this is brutal. They don't have a second white yet, though. Okay, that's a huge draw. Play this. And then I'm going to use Betrayer's Bargain. I should have done this the opposite order. Kill this. Every point of damage matters here, so I'm going to sack this. Sack my enchantment. Attack for 5. They have tons of mana. Wow. That's their best play. If they didn't draw a creature here, they are toasted. They have Delirium. Well, no, they don't. Land instant sorcery. So they can't use their kill spell thing. Maybe an oversight discarding a land instead of a creature or something. If they use a kill spell here and we draw a land to play Fear of the Dark, I think we're going to win. Okay, they reveal Watchdog. Okay. Well, that's still a good draw. Machete. Down the hand that feeds. So next turn we can final thing sack this to kill something. Flip this up. Hit them for 7. Put them to 2. And we have a 6-powered menace creature. If this didn't exile, they'd be dead. Because non-zombie would die. And I do have Delirium. Creature, artifact, instant land. Okay. Watchdog, sure. Get rid of the infection. Are they going to try to make the centipede their savior? They are not. Every point matters. I'm going to be 1 off, maybe. Because they can play a creature, put this thing into the danger zone. Hit me for 5, go up to 7. And then I guess they can't. Because it's good vigilance, right? No, it doesn't. Okay. So they could hit me for Altenac. Oh, gosh. Gosh, gosh, gosh. Oh, and they don't block with the dog. That's tough. Their deck is juiced. I was really trying to do what I needed, but I couldn't beat the monstrous emergence. Too much value got me. I was 1 point off. Why you fight for every point? Gosh, if the Final Vengeance had not been an exile spell, I think I might have been able to get him. Or honestly, if I'd drawn a 5th land to play Fear of the Dark at some point, I think that would have been doable, but fortunately weren't able to get the job done. Also, maybe if I was supposed to sack the Clockwork Percussionist to get a card out of it at some point, but I kept just like being so close on the damage front. Oh man, this deck was sweet. We were so close to getting it. That was a fun one. I think, was that even just game 2 as well? Anyway, really sweet deck. If you did make it all the way to the end of the video, leave hashtag sprint in the comments section down below. We really did our best. I think Fear of the Dark was a real overperformer, so I really liked that. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you next time.